You see, there are two kinds of law. This is a subject I love. I've been talking about this for years. There are two kinds of law on the earth that rule the whole world, but most people don't know that. All over the world, all governments are ruled by what is called civil law. Civil law goes back to a Latin word, civili, which goes back to the word illi. Oh God, I mean, you go on for hours on this stuff. Civil law, which is called in all countries the law of the land. So you'll say, well, you can't do that because that's against the law of the land. The law of the land is civil law, Roman civil law, the law of the land. But there is a second law which also operates all over the earth identical. It's called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. That is the law of God in the world of business. I don't care if you're in Japan, in Africa, in China, in Istanbul, Turkey. If you have a company, if you have a corporation, if you are doing business where you buy and sell and make money, you are operating on this earth under something called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. Because if all countries worked on a different commercial code, then nobody could do business with anybody. You couldn't trust Japan to pay you. Japan couldn't trust America to pay them for the cars, because everybody has their own laws. Under the Caesars of Rome, they established under Caesar that all nations in the empire that do business, everybody plays on a level field. If you do business in Africa with China, you pay them. And if Africa does business with American companies, you pay them. You pay whatever it is you're doing business. You don't mess around. The most severe law in this world is called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. It's the Bible of business on the earth. Uniform Commercial Code. Uniform Commercial Code is based directly on Vatican canon law, on the Roman canon law.
Somehow it seems to me we do need a voice, finally, that can determine for us the truth of things when there is this tremendous disagreement. If I might press that political analogy that McGrath uses, who would ever think that 30,000 political parties in one parliament would be a functional system? But there are 30,000, at least, Protestant denominations around the world. How could that possibly be the ground for an effective consensus? In light of all that, I come back to one of my great theological heroes, John Henry Newman, who of course had begun life as an Anglican and then became Catholic. Here's one of the main reasons Newman became a Catholic. Like McGrath, he acknowledged this lively conversation among the theologians, among the preachers. He acknowledged the development of doctrine. He saw all that. But then he said, at the end of the day, there has to be a living voice that can determine the truth of things when the church is divided about essential matters. What occurs to me is that the best analogy for Newman's idea would be the analogy of an umpire or referee. Anyone that plays a game seriously knows that you like the umpire. Even though we boo the umpire when they come out, we like the umpire or the referee if we're serious about the game. Because without an umpire, without a living voice, or in the case of the referee, his shrill whistle, without that, the game will soon devolve into bickering. If you love the game and you want it to go on, you reverence the fact that there is a voice, a clear voice, a living voice, that can determine fair or foul, right or wrong, ball or strike. And I think that's the best analogy now for the authority of the church, as Newman saw it. Not oppressive, not domineering, but a kind of refereeing authority that allows the conversation to move forward in a more creative way.
The ancient Romans had a saying in their law that said, quote, "Let them who wish to be deceived be deceived." Quite simply, the Roman law was, if you're so stupid to want to be deceived, go ahead. If you had any brains at all, you do your homework and take many, many days and hours, the kind of thing that Sir Lawrence Gardner does.
Spend a lot of time researching, studying, and then you're going to find out, yes, what we're faced with in this world is consensus reality. It has very little to do with the real truth. The real truth, you better wake up and find out, has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it.